Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you?
Well, I'm all right as well. Coming up later in the program, we're going to be visiting with Heather, I believe it's Choate. I hope I say that right. I'll find out before I talk to her. The 7 Secrets of Rich Women. So if you want to know what rich women know, we're going to talk about, actually on the show, we're only going to have time to get to 3 of them. But she's got a book called The 7 Secrets of Rich Women. But I know we're not going to have time to get to all of those, so I'm going to just ask her about the top 3. So we'll be chatting with Heather later in the program. In China, a man left his wife. She took revenge by burning the 400 cell phones they had for sale at their business.
Oh.
So they were selling phones.
Right.
She burned the phones.
Okay, well, hey.
Yikes. A woman scorned equals phones scorched. In an attempt to curb childhood obesity, a West Virginia school district is implementing the interactive dancing video game Dance Dance Revolution. So saying, hey, get the kids up dancing instead of, sitting around doing nothing. So that's an interesting idea.
I doubt kids will be dancing in front of each
Well,
other.
you just
Have
never
you ever
know.
been to a middle school dance?
I have. Yeah. It didn't go well.
I
remember
can't
watching.
imagine it being much better with all the lights on in the cafeteria.
I'm all done
Just
eating my
saying.
tater tots. Oh, wait, I got to go over there? Yeesh. On second thought, I'm going to eat these a lot slower. All right, got some special things happening today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday, June the 17th. Today is Eat Your Vegetables Day. So, eat your vegetables, kids. It's also National Flip-Flop Day. I'm celebrating. I got my flip-flops on right now. Stewart's Root Beer Day today. Ugliest Dog Day. We used to have a pretty ugly dog.
We used to have a very ugly dog.
He was so ugly, he was cute.
Yeah.
He was a Chinese crested hairless.
with one eye
kind
pussed
of
shut.
goofy. Yeah, he was so
He was
ugly.
pretty bad.
He was so ugly. We're like, oh, he's so adorable because we need that one. Today is Work at Home Father's Day. Father's Day itself is this weekend, but today is the day that fathers are supposed to just work from home. And it is World Day to Combat Desertification and Drought Day. Or desertification? How would you say that?
I have no idea.
Desertification.
Okay.
And drought. Anyway, today's the day we fight that. I can barely say that, so I don't know how much help I'm going to be. Coming up, we're going to talk about some fun things on a Friday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. I've often wondered about this. Is it forgive us our debts or is it forgive us our trespasses?
Forgive us our trespasses
Now,
is the way I learned it.
For some, this slight difference is enough to fight about. About 12 people were injured in a brawl that erupted in a church in Newcastle, Australia. Believe it or not, when they find out what was this all about? Why did you guys get in this big fight? The fight broke out over how to say the Lord's Prayer.
Wow.
Some said the line is forgive us our trespasses, while others said, no. It's forgive us our debts. I believe it all depends on the translation of the Bible in which you are using, because I've heard it both ways. And I want to say, I'll go on record as to say, without anybody coming in here and fighting me, I believe both ways are correct. So you said you learned it as what? Forgive us our
trespasses.
Now I learned it, forgive us our debts. So put your dukes up, Heidi. We're going to duke it out right now.
Huh.
I'm just kidding. We're really not going to get in a fight over it. No, I literally have heard it both ways. Forgive us our debts.
I've heard it both ways, but I didn't learn it that way.
Yeah,
and when I have heard it that way, it sounds wrong to me.
Sounds foreign to you. You're like, wait a minute.
I would have been on the trespasses side.
You'd have been over there?
I'd have been throwing
All
punches.
right, everybody on the
I would have been throwing punches with their side.
Everybody on the trespasses side in Australia, come over to this side of the aisle. You guys over there, we're going to duke it out. Swinging crucifixes at each other. And I can only imagine. I mean, you never hear about fights that break out over a prayer. I've just never heard of that before.
I'm sure that made God proud. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of praying, doesn't it?
Do you guys understand what you're even doing right now? You're actually living out what I asked you not to do. I sent my son there to explain this. If you would have just written it down clearly so everybody knew. But no, forgive us our debts or forgive us our trespasses. Again, tomato, tomato. You're saying the same thing
Forgive.
either way.
That's what it means.
In Newcastle, Australia, there was quite a brawl in a church over this. And you know
funny.
it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. I'm not sure whose brain is actually on drugs in this story, but it's a great story. A traveler has managed to make a $10,000 drug score in Japan. The problem is that he doesn't even know it. Seems that an officer at Narita International Airport planted some marijuana into a random black suitcase coming off an overseas flight so that a drug-sniffing dog could get some practice. However, the dog couldn't find it. The officer couldn't remember which bag he put it in. Airport officials are asking that if a passenger finds a bunch of drugs in their suitcase, please return it. We put $10,000 worth of drugs in your suitcase.
We need a new dog.
We were trying to frame you, and it didn't work. Our dog is broken. So is it
That would be awkward if you did get
Wouldn't that
stopped
be
by
weird? Oh yeah.
TSA. You're like, that's not mine. They're
Or-
like, sure, it's not yours.
Imagine if I remember there's a movie called 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag where he was with his, soon-to-be in-laws.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Imagine if this guy shows up wherever he's going and there's a bunch of drugs in his suitcase and you're like, no, seriously, that's not mine. Yeah, whatever.
Sure, it's
Who
not
is this
yours.
man you're dating? He doesn't fit in our family. Anyway, I don't know if that was the husband or the wife that said that. I kind of said it maybe like the wife. I don't know. Let's move on. We've got your moment of duh on the way.
John and Heidi.
We've got a lot of people arguing over dumb things today in this show, and today a father and a son in West Virginia argue over how to prepare skinless chicken dinner, and it ends up in a very dangerous and stupid moment of duh. Unfortunately, one of the secret herbs and spices in this recipe turned out to be lead. What started out as a physical confrontation
no.
escalated into a gunfight. Police say each man fired a 22-caliber gun at the other. Harley Schrader was struck by a bullet that went through the upper part of his right ear, lodged into the back of his head. He was treated at a hospital and released. The father was not injured. Just in time to say, Happy Father's Day.
Wow.
What'd you give your dad for Father's Day? I shot him in the head with a 22. Why'd you do that? He was telling me I was cooking my chicken wrong. So they got in a fight
goodness.
over how to cook skinless chicken for dinner.
Well,
So should we even ask, how do you cook skin? I don't even want to know. We're not going to start a fight. Because
I've never made skinless chicken.
Heidi's-
I made chicken breasts, but
Yeah,
I've never
that's
made
skinless chicken.
skinless
No,
chicken,
that's-
like a
that's
whole
skin-
chicken.
Yeah, I've never seen that done. But Heidi's packing, so I'm not going to get in an argument. She'll shoot me. And it's more than a 22, so I might not make it out alive. We do have your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. A growing number of passwords computers need in order for you to remember how to do things. You have all these passwords now. A third of people admit to becoming so angry after struggling to remember login details.
Oh, yeah.
I have to change passwords all the time because I type in.
I can't stand it.
And I'm like, after 5 passwords, I'm like, what did I... Okay, change password. Then you go in and you change password and it says, oh, you've already used that one. I'm like, what? What am I
Yeah.
supposed to use? I'm all out of things. Password 123. That's what I use for everything. So,
No, you don't.
I don't. I've never used that. But there are a lot of people right now that go, wait, that's my password.
How did you know my password?
The U.S. obesity epidemic continues to worsen. The latest reports show that 40% of U.S. women are obese, and American teenagers are also continuing to pack on some pounds. The two reports from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention show that efforts to encourage Americans to lose weight are having little effect. Overall, 38% of U.S. adults are obese, and 17% of teenagers are obese. I would raise my hand to tell you that I'm obese, but that sounds like a lot of work, so I'm not going to. That's me. I raised a finger. Hey, according to a survey from the Pew Research Center, I just love saying that name.
I know you do.
Pew Research Center. Nearly 80% of Americans do not trust big government. According to research by John, 20% of Americans need to wake up.
Yeah.
80% don't trust big government. I think it should be 100%. I mean, it's kind of getting out of control. Nurses at a Kansas hospital were stunned when Moses William Hilton was born last Thursday. Guess how much Moses weighed?
10 pounds.
14.4
Whoa.
pounds, 22 inches long, quickly earned the nickname Sumo. He's not the heaviest newborn on record, but the staff at Hutchinson Regional Medical Center in Hutchinson, Kansas say he probably is the biggest they've ever seen. He was born by cesarean 11 days early.
I would hope so.
Imagine if they would have waited the extra 11 days. He might have come out bigger than Mom.
He was born cesarean.
Yeah, his nickname is Sumo. Nothing like giving the kid some sort of, stigma from birth. Just because he's a big kid, by the way, doesn't mean he's going to continue to be big. You know, sometimes you're a big baby, but you don't continue to be big. Mm-hmm. So there you go. I've got a link to that story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. So if you want to go take a look at that. Imagine a world where eating chocolate makes you look younger. Lycotech, a UK-based company with research ties to Cambridge University, created something they call EstoChoc. It's 70% dark chocolate. Researchers say it is so potent. Just one 7.5-gram piece of this chocolate packs the same antioxidant punch as 100 grams of regular dark chocolate, or even 300 grams of Alaskan salmon. Creators say in a clinical trial of 50 to 60-year-olds, eating a piece of EstoChoc a day over 3 to 4 weeks boosted blood supply to the skin cells as well as reduced inflammation. They added that in terms of skin biomarkers, we found it had brought skin back to the level of a 20 or 30-year-old.
Wow.
I need to get some of this stuff.
That's
if you
amazing.
eat enough of this, you will become an infant again.
I don't think so.
I'm
but
thinking
that's fantastic.
That's really cool.
I
Eating
bet
chocolate?
it's super expensive.
Probably. EstoChoc. ESTHECHOC. So if you wanted to, find out. Is your derriere large? That could be good for your health. Specific type of fat that accumulates around the hips is called subcutaneous fat. This fat collects under the skin. It appears to fight type 2 diabetes, according to researchers from Harvard Medical School in Boston. So if you like big butts and you do not lie, or however that goes, maybe it's going to help you fight off not cancer. What was it? Diabetes. That's what it was. So there you go. Got some good news today for people like me who are tipping the scales a little bit. We learned that there's more of us than we might have thought of before. We learned that that's going to help us fight. If you have the right kind of fat, it's going to help you fight diabetes. And we learned
chocolate that's good for you.
There's chocolate that we'll all probably like that's going to make us look younger. So, you're going to look younger anyway. Coming up, we've got a special guest on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. We've got a special guest joining us right now. We have Heather Choate. We're going to be talking about 7 secrets rich women know that you don't. We're going to talk mainly about 3 of them during our program here, but she's got a book about 7 secrets, and we've got Heather on the line now. How are you, Heather?
I am doing so good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, we're glad to have you on the phone, and it's exciting to talk to you because this is a neat idea. There are things that people know that, wealthy people, secrets that they have that have helped make them wealthy and keep them wealthy, and you're kind of letting the cat out of the bag to let people know about these secrets, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've devoted a lot of years of study to it, and my real passion kind of kicked in a year ago. Just a brief story about me. I fought breast cancer a year and a half ago at the age of 29, and I was pregnant with my 6th child, so I had 6 kids.
Wow.
After going through that experience and coming out on the other end, I just felt really hungry to take my life to the next level, and I knew that finances needed to be a part of that. And so, I just devoted myself to studying what the rich and successful people, specifically women, are doing and to duplicate their success.
Now, in the book, 7 Secrets Rich Women Know That You Don't, there are 7 things, but we're going to talk about the top 3 because we don't have a ton of time here. So what would you say is number 3 on the list? What is number 3 as far as things that we can teach people here in a few minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. So, number 3 is that competitive women do not become rich. Rich women do not compete. Competition is last year's fashion. So it's like all of us are born with this really competitive instinct, and studies actually show that women are generally more competitive than men, especially against other women. And so what I've discovered is that rich women don't compete like the rest of us think that they do. You know, we see their fancy cars and their big houses and think that, oh, she's just out there to get everyone else. But that's really not the case at all. When you look at what they're doing, it's like they're so in love with their own life's vision that they don't have room to compete whatsoever. I love this quote by author Dawn Jasper, who said that the only woman I have to be better than is the one I was yesterday.
That is a great way to look at it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Kind of the way I describe it in the book is like each of us has a cup that can only hold so much water or liquid, and we can fill this cup with water or poison, but we can't carry anything more than that. And rich women fill their cups with pure water. They're so in love with their vision, their business, their art, their craft, to the point where there's not room for even a drop of poison. The rest of us, we need to examine what's in our cup.
That's awesome. So that's number 3. What's number 2? These are going to get better. I can't imagine. That was awesome.
Yeah, so number 2 is leverage, leverage, leverage. And this is something we might hear about, but how much of us are actually doing it? I think women nowadays are more overworked and overstressed than ever before. We try to take on multiple roles and try to do everything ourselves, and that includes me. So just 2 weeks ago, I just recovered from reconstructive surgery following my mastectomy from a year ago, and I was under strict orders from the doctor. Do not lift anything more than 10 pounds for 4 weeks. And so I had to go to the grocery store to get some much-needed necessities for my big family. And I was there on my cell phone with a cart full of groceries, and the bagger asked if I needed any help out, and I said, no, I'm good. I'm just fine, thank you. I'm like, what a joke. Like, we're so stubborn and independent, thinking that we just have to have everything under control and do everything ourselves. And really the difference between that and what rich women do is that they leverage themselves, and they leverage the expertise, the time, and the talents of others to make the most of their business and their lives.
Well, that's a good idea for anybody.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing how it really comes together.
So now, what is the number 1 secret rich women know that you don't?
Number 1, drum roll, is do what you love. Do what you love. And this is a point that's been really honed into me because I realize that time is so short and we shouldn't spend it doing anything other than what we love. I think it's a tragedy when people talk about going to a job that they hate.
Yeah.
So I determined, for me and my family, we wouldn't do anything unless we absolutely loved it, because that's what life's all about. So determine what you're truly, truly passionate about in your heart of hearts and go for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then as you do that, that passion will attract more opportunities to you. Other people will sense that passion, and we love to see people who are on fire about life. We're just drawn to them, and we hunger for that for ourselves. But yeah, do what you love. Absolutely is number 1 secret of rich women.
And we only talked about 3, but in the book, there are 7. Now, what is the proper title of the book?
7 secrets rich women know that you don't.
Okay, so I was right when I said it before. I wanted to make sure. 7 secrets rich women know that you don't. And Heather, how do we say your last name? Because I said it, but I want to make sure that we say that right as well.
Oh, yeah, you did great. It's Choate. It rhymes with goat.
Okay, so if they're searching for it online, they can find it under Heather Choate, and it's 7 secrets rich women know that you don't. You said it's available right now at Amazon, is that correct?
It is on Amazon, yeah. And right now, for less than a cup of coffee, you can learn the secrets to truly turn your life around and gain lasting wealth.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. I think it sounds like a fun idea for a book, and I wish you the very best.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And again, Heather Choate has been our guest. She is the author of 7 Secrets Rich Women Know That You Don't. It's available right now at Amazon. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Shakespeare invented the expression laugh it off. There you go.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He texted that to a friend, I believe. Just kidding. He didn't.
I understand that. I know.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Every U.S. president that has had a beard has been a Republican.
Really?
Interesting stuff. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The blood pressure of a healthy human is about the same of that as a spider.
Okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
I want to know who's taking a spider's blood pressure.
It's a tiny little, putting the little cuffs on all of his arms. There you go. How you doing? Now just relax. Breathe in and breathe out. So now you're all worked up. Let's do this again. All right. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that,
During
John?
World War II, it was illegal in Germany to name your horse Adolf. Okay. I don't think anybody's really doing that nowadays either. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
This is kind of yucky. Every square inch of the human body has an average of 32 million bacteria on it. Ugh. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Rome has more homeless cats per square mile, rather. I think the other is probably true as well, than any other city in the world. Rome. So if you're looking for a stray cat, that is where you want to go. When in Rome. Thanks for listening to our fun
It's probably because
facts.
of all that extra fish.
Extra
Aren't they
fish.
Catholics? All that extra fish that they eat. Cats like fish.
Yeah, very possible.
So they're all flocking to Rome.
There you go. See, now you know. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. How dumb do you have to be if you can't even mow the grass without professional help? Well, first of all, I take a little...
Anybody who's seen our lawn lately.
I just made a mistake. My son had been mowing, and he set the... I don't know why. He set the deck as low as it would go. So I fire
So
up...
he wouldn't have to mow as often.
I think that's probably... He was trying to burn the grass so you don't have to mow. He's like, I killed it. I don't have to do this anymore. So anyway, I fire the thing up, not paying attention, and I push through, and I was like, wow, this is really bogging down a lot. And I come back for another swipe, and I'm looking at it. I was like, why is it? I'm like chopping into the dirt almost. So then I set the blades correctly and mowed the rest of the lawn. So we got kind of a burned up mohawk down.
No, it almost looks like you mowed a swastika in our yard.
No, it does
Our
not.
neighbors have got to think.
No.
What?
Who are these people that live next to us? No, it's just one stripe. It's one.
It's two.
Well, next to each other, but it's kind of like one wide stripe.
No, you went like down along the road and then diagonally across
Well, it's like a big Z. All right. So it's a couple of stripes. Anyway,
it's dead.
It's not quite dead. We can bring it back.
We'll fix it.
Have I got across the point that I'm not into yard work? So anyway, well, the good news is I'm not the only one that has problems. A friend of mine on Facebook was talking about something that he did that I thought was really funny. He was done mowing, and he had to do the trimming, and he plugged his string trimmer in, but his wife was helping. She plugged the string trimmer in, and he was using it, and then it would go off. And then he'd use it, and it would go off, and they're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And then he walked in and realized that she plugged it in to a thing that they use for Christmas trees to make the lights go on and off.
Oh, funny.
So he was having issues with his string trimmer. Almost got it repaired. He's like, there's something wrong with this. I'm going to have to take it to the shop. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, found out they had it plugged into the blinker for their flashing Christmas lights. So I feel better now about my big dead stripe down the center of my lawn. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this,
My life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
There may be an upside to being a little overweight. Have you noticed a theme in the program today?
Right, right. We're all just big fat fatties.
Says if you ever fall down. Oh, let me read the story. Heavyset people have a better chance of surviving a fall from a cliff or a tall building. We do have a slighter chance of being on a cliff or a tall building. A new worldwide survey of falling cases of those who were 15 to 30 pounds overweight, they had a much better survival rate of people who were healthy or underweight. Doctors say there's an extra layer of fat that protects us, and our internal injuries are far less because, we have that little extra cushion there. So,
well, that and usually holding like a bag of Doritos or something to kind of cushion the fall.
So what happened over there? Well, John, for some reason, was on the roof. I'm not sure. Good news is he had a giant bag of popcorn.
Landed on his popcorn, got
hefty
up.
bag
Now
full
he's
of
still
popcorn.
eating the popcorn.
Well, the paramedics are working on it, scraping it up off the ground. Good news is he's fine. Light and fluffy, just the way I like it. All right, so there's some good news for you. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
We haven't traveled anywhere lately by airplane. We've driven a lot lately, but we haven't traveled by airplane. I've been hearing all kinds of people complain about the lines at the airport.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And some airlines will do anything to make you pay more now. The Air Transport Association reports that some of the tricks that airlines are considering for cutting costs and upping revenue is the idea of treating passengers as cargo. That means that you would have to be weighed like baggage before takeoff and be charged based on your weight.
Oh,
so can you imagine
gosh.
stepping up to, okay, well, before you get on, fatty, here you go, step on my scale. I don't think I'd be able to afford to fly anywhere. Well, I guess I can't even know.
Oh,
even though
my
they don't
gosh.
Do that. Yeah, that's one of the things that they're talking about. The Air Transport Association has revealed that now they're actually talking about charging you based on how much you weigh, because that's how it really works. They're saying, hey, if you weigh more, you should pay more. So, interesting thought.
Well, you wouldn't be able to buy your airline tickets online anymore then. It would all have to be done at the airport.
But you'd have to put in how much you weigh, and then when you get there, you'd have to weigh in to make sure that you weren't lying. So,
wow.
And then pay the difference.
So then if you weighed less, would they give you money back?
Probably not. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about sleeping on the job. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Wow, today we've had quite the program. It seems like everything we've talked about somehow had to do with people relaxing and being overweight and that kind of stuff. So to keep on with that fabulous conversation, very soon sleeping on the job could be a good thing, Heidi. Mm-hmm. What makes a job a great job? Excellent pay, you might say. Bonuses are good. Benefits. How about a nice afternoon nap? The United Kingdom Sleep Council has called for an end to the 9-to-5 workday in the UK. They say we want more flexible hours for everyone. A recent survey shows that the majority of people are not fully alert in the middle of the day. So the United Kingdom Sleep Council came up with a plan. They said, I think companies should have a nap time, a little time for rest in the middle of the day, and we should all get paid for this. This is in the United Kingdom. Now, we do our program in the United States. We're not in the United Kingdom. I know there are some countries where they do have a siesta in the middle of the day and they take naps. That would be hard for me to get used to.
I can't sleep during the day anyway.
Here's my question. Do I go home and take my nap? Or do I take a nap like
at your
desk? My office?
Yeah, just
would
put
you
your head
curl
on
up
your
under
desk
like George Costanza underneath your desk? I just don't and I'm serious. I have no clue how this works. So if you know how this works, if you maybe have been to a place where they take
England
siestas.
already has way
I
more
know.
work perks than
We
we
had
do.
a guy that was moving here, and he lived with us for, what, 6 months?
Yeah.
Seemed like 9 years, but it was 6 months. It was funny because he was here and was going to move here, and then he saw how hard we work. Because at the time, I would go to work at 6 a.m., and I wouldn't get home till like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And he's like, is that normal? I was like, well, I don't think anybody's ever called me normal, but I
That's
said,
pretty.
you know,
It's not uncommon.
I said I want to get ahead in my position at the job that I have here. So yeah, I work a little extra. And he was going, that is nuts. And he goes, you guys don't get any time, like 2 weeks. That's it. When they start working, they get like 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
I get holiday. I'm like,
Yeah,
we don't
my
have
friend has so much vacation that she's like, I just don't know how I'm going to fit it all in.
that. Yeah, we have that same problem.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we have so much work. We don't have, there we go. Coming up, we do have some good news to get to. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. I just want to make sure that we let everybody know that this beautiful woman next to me is my wife. The two of us happen to be married, which is unusual for, a radio program to be a husband and a wife. That's not something you see everywhere, but that's what we have here. And anytime I see a story about how to strengthen your marriage, I always like to talk about those for two reasons. First of all, because any help that we can give for our listeners to strengthen their marriage is a good thing. And the second of all, because I need all the help I can get. So, but if your marriage could use a little extra help, the next 31 days could change everything, Heidi. According to Focus on the Family president, Jim Daly, that might sound like a promise out of an infomercial, but he says, it's closer to the truth than you might think. Jim Daly says the solution is to make a few subtle changes in your dealings with one another. That could include a 5 to 10 second kiss instead of a little peck on the cheek, or taking a short walk together each day. He says, do things like that consistently for 31 days, and you can deepen your connection and intimacy more quickly than you ever thought you could. I've got a link to this story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I agree completely with that. I know we used to go for little walks. We haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, we should. Now we have a nice walking trail that goes
we
right
should go,
in our backyard.
Absolutely. We should do
Take
that.
the dogs and...
We should go for a walk.
We should.
Maybe not tonight. I'm kind of busy. Not tomorrow.
We
but
should do it
sometime
tonight.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay, we'll do it tonight. No, we should. We should go for a walk because that's really a cool thing. If you'd like to see the list of all the other things to do, again, for the next 31 days, none of these things are hard. I want to let you know that. And husbands, if you're the one looking at the list and you're saying, how am I going to get my wife to do this? Print it off or just go look at it with her and say, hey, would you like to do this? I'll bet she'll say yes. Wives, if you're looking at it, trick your husband into it somehow. So, no, I'll admit, there are probably a lot of husbands that want to have a stronger relationship too. You just need to make sure that the way you present it to them is, hey, let's try this. I think this is going to help.
There you go.
Don't say we have to do this. Just say we should try this and see if it can help. It's all simple little stuff. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Again, that list is at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by PoliticalStorm.com. Did a really fun podcast this week. There was a gentleman that we're going to have on this radio program in a couple of weeks. But that's one of the things that's neat. Anytime there's a political story, if I do the interview for the radio, we don't talk about politics a whole lot here. But I have way more time during this podcast to allow people to hear it. So we've got a guy by the name of David Daly. And his book, I can't say on the radio. It's Rat Effed. And it's an interesting book. You can go listen to the podcast right now at
You can
Political
say it
Storm.
on the podcast.
No, I'm not going to, though.
You
no way.
can.
No, but I'm not going to. I don't want to offend somebody because somebody listening could be very offended by that.
Oh,
so,
fuck that.
Would you stop it? No, we're not going to say stuff like that. Anyway, PoliticalStorm.com. Check it out. Right now, let's take a look at our bonus break. A man walks into a bank wearing pantyhose and a bandana. He yells out, "Hey, I got a gun, and I'm going to shoot the first person who moves. Give me money or I'll start shooting." The bank guard sneaks up on the robber, who is 6 inches taller than him. He wraps his arms around the robber and shuffles him back out the door, where he then wrestles him to the ground, slapping handcuffs on him. The FBI pats him on the back and tells him he did the right thing, that he's a hero. What do you suppose the bank did?
Fired him.
Yeah. How'd you know that? Did we already talk about
Because
this?
this is kind of lame liberal world we're living in right now, and that's
What-
exactly what would happen.
It says, why did Charter One Bank in Cleveland, Ohio fire him? They say, you are there to be a deterrent and to get a good description of the robber. You are not there to confront them. He physically confronted them, which is a violation, and he couldn't do that, so he got fired. I bet he got hired by somebody else, though, because you know what? I would hire the guy in a second.
I would hire an employee like that.
I would too. First mistake, robbing a bank. Second mistake, returning the rental car used for the getaway. Police say Tony Abercrombie, probably not related to the Fitch people, was arrested while trying to return a car to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. What is their slogan? Enterprise, we pick you up? Isn't that
I
it?
don't know.
Yeah. This would be the police. We pick you up. They say the car was used in a bank robbery less than an hour before in nearby Meta, Kentucky. Abercrombie is now charged with robbery and faces extradition to Kentucky. Toronto, Canada, two men tried to obtain a huge line of credit from a bank. They put up as collateral $25 billion in fake U.S. government bonds. The bonds pictured former President Grover Cleveland and were supposedly issued in 1930. On the back of the bonds was a complete address of the Federal Reserve Bank in D.C., right down to the zip code. And that's where their grand
they
plan went
wouldn't have
wrong.
had, yeah.
Zip codes didn't even exist
Yep.
until 1963. So next time you're going to do some counterfeiting, boys, maybe you do some research first.
Yeah.
Our son could have told you that. He's a smart dude. He's really, especially when it comes to money, smart kid. Hey, for those of you who are Donald Trump fans and single, do I have news for you? If you're in the market to find a partner who shares your appreciation for Donald Trump, check out TrumpSingles.com.
Oh, my God.
The dating site was created by David Gross, who felt that Trump followers faced a stigma in the dating scene because of the brash things the presidential candidate says. And he says, hey, if we all agree with each other, then why not start dating? Let's hook up. So, TrumpSingles.com.
There you go.
I think we should check just to see if we know anybody on there.
How would you like to have to say that that's where you met your spouse?
Where'd you guys meet? TrumpSingles.com. Really? So how'd that work out for you?
Oh,
I
funny.
just think that's kind of funny. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him for an interview. Wouldn't that be fun?
Of Trump?
No, not Trump. The TrumpSingles.com guy. All right. Your bonus break brought to you by PoliticalStorm.com.